Welcome to Iconic Leadership, the podcast for female entrepreneurs who know they're here to lead, not just build a business. This show is for women stepping into the Alpha Queen era, where leadership becomes identity, power is embodied, and success is created from the inside out. Here, we explore sovereign leadership, expansion, vision, purpose, business, and the inner work that is required to build an empire that fits the woman you are becoming. Strategy matters, but who you are matters more. I'm Carissa Atkins, and this is Iconic Leadership. Welcome to the new standard of the Alpha Queen power. Hello, hello, gorgeous beauties. Hello, welcome to Iconic Leadership. I'm your host, Carissa Atkins, CEO and founder of a global personal and professional development coaching and mastermind company. We help women create and sustain wildly successful businesses without losing themselves or burning out in the process. We really, truly believe that women can have it all. So listen, today I wanted to do some training on networking and leveraging other people's stages, or I like to call it OPSs, right? Other people's stages. So I'm just going to kind of go over some ninja strategies to leverage other people's stages or events that really get you noticed, okay? Because this is obviously inspired by an event that I went to earlier in the month. And I was like, yo, nobody here is really networking like a rock star. And I was like, you know what? I want to just put together a training because every woman who is in business or works, for somebody who has to go out and do any type of networking or community outreach or PR, right? You should know how to network like a ninja. Okay, like a ninja queen. All right, so I'm going to be breaking down exactly how to walk into a room full of opportunities and confidently position yourself as the woman that people want to hang out with, to do business with, and things like that, okay? So whether you're attending a networking event, or maybe you're attending a conference or a mastermind day, or maybe you're doing a community gathering. These rooms are filled with potential collaborators, hosts, podcast owners, event organizers, and potential clients. And the key is knowing how to show up with presence, clarity, and intention. Okay. So I'm going to kind of just go over the do's, the don'ts of networking. Right? And I'm going to give you some tips so that you'll never feel awkward, pushy, or salesy. We're also going to dive into how to confidently start and steer conversations that naturally highlight what you do and why you do what you do. I'm going to talk about the art of room positioning so that you're seen as the expert in your space. I'm also going to talk about how to strategically level or leverage other people's stages, right, to get more visibility and more authority. We're going to talk about some simple conversation shifts that can really open the door to maybe more speaking engagements, more collaborations, or future opportunities for you. And of course, it's all around practical tips on capturing connections without feeling transactional, okay? So, if you don't know who I am, my name is Carissa Atkins, and I have gone from, I've gone from broke to homeless to self-made millionaire all within 5 years, and I really know what it takes to build a successful company without losing herself, without, poor health, without divorce, without all of the things. Why? Because I did all those things and lost it all. And of course, I've learned from those lessons. And now I'm teaching my clients, right, how to build successful companies, and when we think about that, right, that's like a blanket. So let me just dive into like what that really looks like. So on business mastery, what I call business mastery, aka fundamentals of business. Guys, growing your business is not like super uber sexy. Okay. It's showing up doing the same thing every day, day in, day out, consistently, right? You all know what you need to be doing most of the time to grow your company, But the real question is like, why aren't you doing it? What stops you? Okay. So it's important, yes, to know the strategy to build your company, but it's also important to build the woman behind the brand so that you can actually take those strategies and implement them. Okay. So inside the AQC, where we work with ladies who not only come to us for the business strategies, but also because they know they need self mastery. Okay, you need to learn how to master yourself, meaning your mindset, your fear, your confidence, the inner game, because our outer game is a direct reflection of our inner game. So if you're not where you want to be in your business or life, right, it has nothing to do with the people around you. It has nothing to do with your circumstances or the cards that you were dealt. It has everything to do with your inner game, your conditioning, and your programming. Okay. So, anyways, today I'm not going to talk about inner game performance. I'm not going to talk about the business mastery. We can dive into that at another time. This is actually a really great strategy. It would fall to me under business strategy, obviously. And if you are familiar with my $1 million sales matrix, it would technically fall under marketing, but also a little sales, because to me, marketing and sales are really close. They go hand in hand and they're like best friends, but they're not one and the same. A lot of people think marketing is sales, and a lot of people think sales is marketing. And I'm like, well, marketing has to happen, and then sales has to be like a beautiful handoff to the sales department, right? And then the sales calls, and then closing, and then the actually doing the thing that you promise your clients you do. So it's always, everything is always touching, right? Your brand message to your lead generation, like everything kind of touches the buckets. So if I were to say that where would this training fall under, it would be under marketing and sales. It starts in the marketing department and then can easily move into sales if it's done right. It's an easy brainer, no brainer. Okay. All right, so let's get into it. I'm just going to dive in. Get your pen and papers out, ladies, because I'm literally spilling all the beans when it comes to networking like a rock star, so that you can leverage other people's audiences to build your own business. All right, so listen up. Number one, I want to say is the purpose of networking, right? I always want you to remember that networking is not about exchanging business cards and collecting people's emails and phone numbers. Okay. I mean, especially in today's digital age, guys, you just can't get someone's business card and then go back to your office and add their email to your e-list or your list or any of your shit that you send out. Why? It's illegal. Okay. And every time that you add someone to your list and they unsubscribe and they say, no, I did not sign up for that, it's actually hurting your open rates. Okay. So quit doing that. Okay. So networking is not about, exchanging business cards and getting the most out of it. Okay. So when I think of networking, I think of it as three systems, well, several systems. Okay. But this is the order that I would put the purpose of networking in. Okay. The purpose is to connect with people you don't know. Then it becomes the purpose is build relationships with those people. And then once those relationships start to get built, if they are the right client for you, book a sales call. And then after that sales call, if they're still the right client for you, you close the deal. Okay, so networking is not about selling immediately. We've all walked into a networking meeting and there's always some bro that's shoving his card down his face and saying, hey, when you need this service, give me a call. Like, I don't even know you, right? Like, I am sure as shit not doing business with people I don't know, right? People do business with people who they know, like, and trust. So the whole purpose of networking is to connect with people, to build real relationships, and then if it's the right fit, book a sales call and close a deal, okay? So it's not about selling immediately. Networking is about creating meaningful connections that can turn into opportunities. Okay. Number two, and again, guys, I'm putting this together because I've been networking like a total rock star for many, many decades. However, what really inspired it was when I went to this networking event and everyone was doing networking all kinds of wrong. So I was like, oh my God, okay, it's time for a networking 101 how-to video or show. Okay, so number two is always come prepared, all right? Bring the tools that make connecting easy. Now, what I like to think about is if you called a plumber and the plumber came to your house because you had some pipes backing up and he was like, oh yeah, your pipes are overflowing in your toilet and shit's going everywhere. And I don't have my tools, so I can't really help you right now. I'll have to go back and get them. You'd be like, what? Right? Like, I need this thing fixed now. So, same thing with networking, guys. Always come prepared. Come with business cards in your hand. If you maybe you're not a business card person, you have your digital business card on your phone, right? Have the QR code easily able to swipe up and grab. Maybe you have flyers for something or trifolds or something, right? If you have an event or a workshop or a program coming up and you want to talk about it, have a flyer in your hand. If you are an author, have a book in your hand. Okay, have plenty of books. In fact, I teach my clients that if you have a book, you should be using that thing like a business card. Literally, guys, like you should. And every time, like this is one of our books that we have. I have a bookmark in here that takes them to my QR code that allows them to connect with me. Okay. So not only is it a bookmark, but what I do strategically is I would put the bookmark right where, like my favorite chapter or something like that. I would stick it up and be like, you know what? I wanted to give you this book today. And they'll be like, oh my God, you gave me a book, right? Now you've gave them a gift, you've had meaningful connections, and then, they're going to get to this, which is really what you want them to get into after they read your book. So, like, if you have a book, guys, and you're not literally passing it out like it's candy, like you're doing something wrong, and that would be a whole nother training video. So, I'm not going to get into that. But yes, come prepared. Okay, maybe these are your business cards, whatever it is that you want to give out, right? I've seen restaurants give out coupons for free appetizers, right? That really works. If you're a gym, maybe give out a little card that says one free gym session, whatever it is, get people to know, like, and trust you with something in your hand. Okay. So, like I said, why do these work really well? Books, flyers, cards, etc. Is that if you get the opportunity at a networking event, which typically you do, you get the opportunity to share a little bit about yourself. They call it like a 60-second elevator pitch, where you've got 60 seconds to tell people who you are, what you do, etc. I obviously have my own training on how that should be done. I'm not going down that path today. However, when you stand up and you're giving your pitch and you have a book in your hand and you say, okay, ladies, if you want one of these books, I have 5. Feel free to come and find me after this event. I'd be happy to sign it for you and happy to give it to you, right? What am I doing with this? It's now a prop that people are literally seeing, right? So if you have a flyer, have that in your hand. If you have business cards or books, like I'd love to connect with each and every one of you. Have it out. Have it out. Okay? What this does, though, with a book is that it creates instant authority. And when you're not holding it, you can sit it down on this table and it's a conversation starter. I did this at this last event, and the women around me literally like grabbed the book and they started like flipping through and like, I'd love to get one. And now, hey, I just sold them a book, even though I wasn't even trying to sell them anything. Okay. All right. Number 3 is when you walk into the room. Okay. When you walk into the room, do not go sit with people you already know. I know every part of you is going to want to like go towards safety and belonging, and that naturally is with people you know. But if you do see people you know, yes, go over and say hello, go say hi, right? If you have friends or clients in the room, I always go over. I'm like, oh my God, hey girl, right? Take a picture with you. That does a couple of things. But yeah, I love to take a picture with my clients or my friends. We laugh, we connect. I keep it very short and sweet, right? And then I go find myself a different spot at a different table. Why? Well, a couple of things. When you walk into the room and you do happen to know someone and you go over them and you start laughing, this starts to position you as someone who knows people, someone who is well connected and in demand. Okay, so people naturally think, oh my God, I want to meet her. She seems like so much fun. Right? So, yes, when I walk into a room, I scan it, right? Room awareness. If I know someone, I go say hello, I take a photo, we laugh for just a little bit. I then go put my stuff down at a different table because I'm like, oh, where are you sitting, girl? And they're like, oh, right here. I'm like, oh, awesome. I'm going to go sit over there, right? Because my goal is to meet new people, not stick to, like Velcro, like to the people that we already know. Okay. So, yes, it positions you automatically as someone of authority when you kind of walk into a room like that. Now, if you don't know anyone, right, and you're like, literally, I don't know anyone, then what I like to do is I will set my stuff down, I will grab this or my cards or something like that, and I will start working the room. Okay, why? I'm not there to sit around a table and hope to God someone comes and talks to me. I'm there to meet people. Okay. All right. So, the number four tip is your introduction really does matter. How you introduce yourself matters. Okay. So when you're introducing yourself, don't lead with what you do. Lead with what you stand for. Lead with what you love to help people with, or maybe a transformational story. Something like, oh my gosh, I actually just really want to quickly, tell you about a client who I just had a session with. She does A, B, and C. She was really struggling with X, Y, and Z. And in one session, we were able to do blah, blah, blah. And now she's doing X, right? So that's like a fun way to introduce what you do in a story format that really allows people to be like, oh my God, I struggle with that too. Maybe she can help me. Okay. I'm not saying don't stand up and say, like, hi, I'm Carissa and this is my company, right? We want to get to that point, but it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to lead with that because so many people do that, right? They're like, hi, I'm Carissa and I'm the AQC, blah, blah, blah. And everyone does that. And if you're in one of those industries that you have like three or four of the same competitor in every room that you're in, like think realtors, insurance agents, bankers, things like that, right? This will automatically set you apart from everybody else. All right. Okay, so an example, right? Another example of how to introduce yourself is so let's just pretend, and we won't pretend because this is what I actually fucking do. But you know what I mean? Like, so I'm a business strategist and leadership coach, and I help one of the strategies that I help my ladies master is speaking on stages so that they can get more leads and more clients a lot faster. Okay, so that's just one of the things that I teach my clients how to do. So if that was the thing, right? And that's what I really wanted to focus on that night, I would say, raise your hand or who here wants to speak on more stages and be more visible this year? So many women know, right? They want that if I'm in the right room. You'd be like, amazing. Let me tell you about blah, 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 right? Or another one would be like, who here wants to feel more confident when speaking? And people are like, oh yeah, I do. Awesome. Okay, so there was a time when standing up here would have made me sweat and feel anxious, and I would have been shaken. But I learned how to create a powerful presence, and now I teach women how to do the same. I'd love to connect with you if you're looking for blah blah blah. And then I close with, I'm the CEO and founder of the Alpha Queen Collective, and this is why women come to work with me. Okay. So I end with what I do, or I end with the business name and my name, and I start with something intriguing that gets people to perk up. All right. That's a really ninja hack right there. Okay. Tip number 5 is storytelling is your secret weapon. So even in a 60-second intro, you can tell a story. So an example would be, hi, my name is Carissa Atkins. Let me tell you about a client I just worked with, right? Stories instantly captures attention. Okay, let me tell you about a time that I would have never felt confident enough to do this, right? Let me tell you about the month that I made $100,000 and what I did, right? People are like instantly drawn to that instead of like, hi, this is a good lead for me, blah, 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 right? Everybody else is doing that. So use stories as much as you can, even when you're networking. Okay. So maybe you're not standing up giving your 60-second elevator pitch. Maybe you're meeting someone new and you're like, hi, I'm so. I'm Carissa Atkins. Let me tell you about a client I just worked with. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. She just blah, blah, blah. Okay. Instant capture attention right there. All right. Tip number 6, positioning yourself when you speak. This is a huge one. Okay, so when giving your introduction, again, whether you're meeting someone face to face or you're standing up in front of an entire room, stand up. Okay, position yourself to the front or the side or the back of the room. Make sure your back isn't to anyone. This happened almost with every single woman in that room that I went and was networking with. Okay, what did I do? Well, I stood up, I pushed in my chair, I got to a point where I could see everyone, and then I did my intro. This also happens when people will be like, oh my, they'll like, I'm already sitting down and they'll come up to me and now they're like towering me. I will literally stand up, shake their hand and introduce myself. I'm not just gonna be like, oh, hey, yeah, it's nice to meet you. No. I'm 5 foot tall, yes, but I'm going to stand. Okay. So why this works is because everyone can see you, everyone can hear you now, and you can make eye contact with people in the room. Eye contact equals authority. Okay. So don't just be like looking down. Don't be talking soft. Don't be, like be confident, be present, put yourself out there. All right. Tip number 7 inside of a networking room or a conference or an event is to stand out visually. Now, I attend a lot of events where women are there, okay? And I would say 90% of the room is in a dark color, okay? Blacks, browns, navies, right? They're trying to blend in. More importantly, it's more than likely that they're wearing something dark because, they're trying to hide, right? And yes, I get it. Black is my favorite color, guys. However, I will always add something that pops that makes me stand out. Maybe it's a bright blazer, some unique glasses, maybe it's a statement coat or a headband, maybe it's some fancy schmancy shoes like an accessory, right? So this helps you stand out and be remembered, not just at the event, but a lot of people who host events want to take photos with people. So they're like, okay, everyone in the room, gather up, let's do a photo, right? Because they want to use it for marketing. Guess what? You're going to use it for marketing too. But if everyone's in black or like boring colors and you're the only one in like a hot pink coat, guess what? I stand out way more. And now when they go to post that, people are always looking, their eyes are drawn to me first because I'm wearing some sort of hot color, okay? Or some sort of statement piece. So you'll stand out in photos, you'll be remembered, and you become like visually recognizable instantly. So if you have a brand color, I would highly recommend always having some sort of brand visibility with your color, okay? All right, number 8 is when you meet someone. Okay, so let's go back to that moment where you're having a conversation with that person, like one-on-one, or maybe you're in a small group setting, standing around the cocktail table. All right. So when you meet someone, okay, don't go up and start talking about yourself. I know you're gonna have to fight that because you're like, I want people to know what I do. Great. And if you do this right, they will ask you what you do. Okay. So don't talk about your business. Don't talk about your work. Don't talk about your passion yet. Ask them about their business. Ask them about their work that they do. Ask them about the passion that they have. Okay. So when you do this, right, you're creating genuine connection. And naturally, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, thank you for asking. Tell me more about you. Okay. So I also like to also just give a genuine compliment. Even if I can't, like, even if I'm like, wow, I don't really even know what you do. I'm going to keep asking questions until I feel confident that I know what they do. But then I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, your work is so needed. Right. And it's genuine. Like, especially like I met this lady who helps, aging parents. So like, people like me in their 40s and 50s who have parents who need to get into homes. Right. So she helps that transition. Now, I don't have anyone in my life yet that needs to go into like a home. Right. But I can at least appreciate what she does. So I immediately went up and I was like, hey, I just want to say thank you for the work that you're doing. When I need someone like you, you're definitely going to come to mind. Okay. So this just kind of shows them that their work is really, really important. And this instantly makes people feel seen, appreciated, and valued. And that's all we want, right? Everybody wants to feel seen, heard, and valued. All right, tip number 9, the ninja connection hack. So after a good conversation, okay, first of all, remember my goal isn't to go and meet as many people. Like I want to meet 4 or 5 people. If it's like a 2-hour event, 4 or 5 really good connections. Now I'm not afraid to like, if I meet someone, guys, and they're just super negative, or we've all been in those situations where people are like talking to you, but like scanning the room for somebody more important. Like, first of all, fuck you if that's what you're doing. Like, don't do that shit. It's annoying and it's just rude as hell. So it's like when you're having a conversation with someone, have a conversation with someone, like look at them in their eye and like really ask questions. So don't try and scan the room for your bestie or somebody else more important to you. You can tell that this happens to me all the time and it just burns me up. I'm like, you know what? If I'm not that important, just go ahead, go. Right. So I'm not going to sit and and build a relationship with someone who doesn't want that with me. Okay. So don't be rude. Don't be that person. So when you are connecting, okay, and let's say you're like, oh my God, this person's so cool, right? I always end the conversation with, hey, let's connect. What social channel are you on? Right? And we pull out our phones and I connect right away. Okay. Once I connect with them, let's just say Facebook's your platform. You send each other a Facebook friend request and you say, hey, let's take a picture together and then I'll send it to you. And they're like, oh, that's a great idea. And I'm like, yeah, that way I can remember, like whose awesome conversations I'm having. Okay, so now I take the picture, right? Snap, snap. And then when we're done talking, I send it to them right away in the DMs. Hey, lady, it was so nice meeting you. I cannot wait to get to know you better. Okay, so now they know who I am. So tomorrow, after they've talked to, a couple, 10, 20 people, I'm going to stand out because we already have a picture together. Okay. And then, of course, if you're going to make like a Facebook story, an Instagram story, you can tag them and, oh, I met the amazing person, right? Go above and beyond, guys. This is Alpha Queen all day long. We don't just do shit half-assed. We go above and beyond. That sets us apart and that allows us to grow our businesses even faster. Okay. So we connect with them on social, we take a photo together, and then we immediately send them the message. Hey, girl, it was so nice meeting you. Right. And again, you're going to remember their face. You're going to remember the conversations you have. You're going to also, it helps you with follow up the next day. So if you send it right away and then the next day, right, you're like, hey, I would love to grab coffee. Like, here's my link. Let's meet up, right? Like it's so much easier, especially if you have a team. So when I'm at an event, my team knows that I'm at an event, but if I'm at the event and I'm taking selfies with people, I've created those conversations and they don't need to butt in on our conversations. Okay, so if you have a team and you're like tag team your DMs with your team, that's a really good ninja hack for them to know not to, send them a message because you've already built the relationship. It's up to you to keep it going. Okay, so speaking of follow up, right? Tip number 10 is where magic happens. So 9 times out of 10, most people don't follow up. They're busy, life gets in the way, blah, blah, blah. Okay, follow up is key. This is where we start to go from marketing, okay, to sales. Follow up, follow up, follow up, okay? So my goal is to follow up before the event host does. First of all, this positions me as holy shit, she's on top of her game, okay? And it allows me to get in front of that host who more than likely was hosting that event to get leads. I'm the front runner, okay? Because I've followed up with everyone that I had a connection with, okay? So, yeah, that person is like, holy crap, this person is fast. Okay, so after I follow up, or the ways that I would follow up is either via email, via text, or social DM. Okay, so I'm going to send them a DM. Hey, it was so great meeting you again last night. I really look forward to having, coffee with you. Here's my link. Would love to go and further this further. Then I'm going to send them an email if I did get their business card. Hey, gorgeous, just wanted to let you have my email address in case something ever comes up or if, you want to invite me to anything or vice versa. Okay. All right. Again, this reinforces them feeling seen, heard, and remembered. So now let's quickly talk around turning relationships into sales. Okay, because we're all networking. We're not out trying to find best friends, right? We're trying to find possible people that could either be our clients or could refer clients to us. So if you're out networking with no purpose of getting, more sales or something like that, I don't know if you're in the game for the right reason. I mean, if you're just looking for friends, then that's a different type of, event. Like we all go to networking events to like find clients or find referrals. Okay. So turning relationships into sales. So once a relationship is built, start engaging with them online. Start commenting on their posts, start replying to their stories, start sending the occasional DMs, engage with their content. Then invite them into your ecosystem after you've deposited reciprocity onto their channels. Don't just go to the DMs and say, hey, I'd love to invite you to my email newsletter or my community or my event. No, 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 no. You just made that about you. It ain't about you. Okay. So my goal is to engage with them first, right? Givers gain. When you give to them, they will naturally want to give back to you. So they will start commenting on your stuff, and plus you're kind of beating the algorithm game there on social media. So that's good sales, guys. This is not a sales video. However, I'm a high ticket sales strategist, so I really, really do love teaching women how to build their sales pipeline. All right, so okay, tip number 12 is promoting your event or workshop. Okay, so if you happen to be hosting something after this event, you can mention it during your intro. Something like, and if you're interested in learning how to make $10,000 next month so that you can get to your $100,000 a year, come find me and I'll give you a promo code, right? Or if you're interested in learning how, to really make more high ticket sales, so that you can finally reach your financial income this year, come find me. I have a promo code to the event that I'm hosting that all we're doing is talking about sales, right? You can then offer up some sort of discount or something like that to the room. Okay, special offer or bonus or something. Okay, so that's where I always have flyers with me if I am hosting something. I know they're old school, guys, and yes, they're going to cost you, what, 20 cents to print. However, someone who wants more information about something will absolutely look at that flyer, and it's worth it. 20 cents, totally worth it, okay, to get a lead. All right, tip number 13, presence, energy, and confidence. So I cannot talk about the importance of this one so much. So you must look the part. Okay. You need to dress like someone people want to work with. Okay. So if you're in the industry, if you're in the fitness industry, athletic wear is totally fine. You know, I wouldn't expect if you own a gym that you're in a freaking three-piece suit. Okay. I would expect you to look like you belong in the gym, but be confident. Don't look like a sloppy mess. Don't come smelling like the gym. Okay. If you're in the business industry, come polished, come professional looking. Avoid looking sloppy, avoid unkept hair, avoid low energy because, guys, energy and confidence actually sell before your offers even do. Because if you're boring and you're negative all the time and you are not exciting, people don't want to be around that. People naturally want to be around someone who's happy and confident and energetic and all of those things, right? So make sure that you look the part. You need to feel confident. When you feel confident, you are confident, and confidence then radiates within the whole room. Tip number 14 is to protect your energy of the conversation. So definitely if you happen to be in like this circle where people are talking and, and people are starting to get negative, right? Whether it's gossip or complaining, or maybe they're judging other people or criticizing other people. If any conversation turns negative, guys, redirect it or just get yourself out of that situation. If you have been following me long enough, you know that I like to talk about energy and frequency, right? And we attract what we put out. And if you are surrounding yourself with negative people, then guess what? You're going to eventually become negative yourself, right? You are the sum of the five people that you hang out with. So if you always hang out with broke people who always complain about not having enough money, guess what? That's probably your reality, right? That's across every board, guys. So because I have been at events that literally the events have gone wrong and people start like coup, like they create the coup. Like they're like, okay, can you believe this? And, blah, 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 blah. And like my best thing is I always try and redirect. So I'm always literally like, hey, let's shift the conversation. Tell me something that exciting that you're working on. And if they just keep rerouting back to the negative, then they're not even someone you should be hanging out with more than likely. Okay. All right. Tip number 15, never introduce yourself like this. Never, ever, ever say, hi guys, I'm new to business. Even if it's true, all right? Never say that. If you're speaking on stage for the very first time, never say, "Oh my God, this is my first time." Right? Like you don't have to say you're new to anything. Because what this does is it signals lack of confidence and lack of authority. And instead of showing up like the badass you are, people naturally are like, "Oh, that's cute. She's new in business." Don't say that, right? So instead, I want you to show up like a professional. Confidence attracts opportunities, guys. Confidence attracts opportunities. Okay, so if you are attending somebody else's major event, right? We've kind of been talking about like networking events. Maybe they're like an hour coffee and contacts, 2 hours like meet and greet, something like that, right? That's a way to use somebody else's area, group meeting that they created. They spent time, energy, and resources putting people in that room. You can own it. And you can step over them by just knowing those strategies, right? So, what about major events? So, when you go to a 2 day event, a 3 day event, right? How can you really start to maximize and leverage those people's stages and those events, right? Well, that's what I want to dive into next. So tip number 16 is I want to just talk about like leverage the event community before the event. So prime example is I was speaking. I'm a motivational speaker, right? A lot of people hire me out to have me speak. So I was speaking at this event that I knew I could not offer any type of offer at the end of my keynote. And I'm like, cool, cool. I don't need that anyways. Like I honestly sell better when I don't offer anything up. So I knew that. So what did I do? Well, this particular event coordinator put a Facebook group together before his event. Okay. And I would definitely a great strategy. Like if you're hosting your own event, definitely try and put your people into a community before they even get to the event. That way they can start to build relationships and network with each other before the event. There are obviously ways you can hack into that. But for this one, tip number 16 is leverage the event community. So this particular coach created a Facebook group, right? And inside that Facebook group, I always introduce myself. I always comment on everyone's posts. I start conversations. I invite people to coffee chats, right? So before the event even happened, this particular event, I met with 10 people. And out of those 10 people, I sold 3 offers before I even met them in person. Guys, if someone creates a community for you to come be a part of and you can just generally show up and like be exciting and be awesome in that group and get sales out of it, you're losing money if you're not taking advantage of these tips right here, guys. So, yeah, if they've built a community, go in there and just start building genuine relationships. Again, you're not there to say, hey, this is what I do. Who wants to buy? No, 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 no. Networking still applies, right? Your goal is to meet people and build relationships. If it happens to turn into business, great. Okay. So, I like to always start off with conversations. I definitely, if I can go live inside their community, I definitely go live, right? I'm like, hey guys, I'm Carissa, right? Because they're starting to feel my energy, my confidence before the event. And now let's say that you're, I'm going to keep to the same event because I did all these ninja hacks for that event too. So not only was I in the Facebook community, right? But I also put together my own Facebook training in my own community. And I was like, okay, all of these people they're going to go to this event to learn about X. Okay. I'm going to go and create, if this is what I specialize in, I'm going to go and create my own mini training before the event. And I'm going to invite all those people in that group to come over to my training. It's free. I know, ninja hack, right? Okay, so you could literally go into that group and say, I'm going live tomorrow sharing 5 tips on how to boost your confidence and authority when speaking. Okay, so what this does is A, it positions you as the expert, it positions you as a leader and someone people should pay attention to. Okay, so you're not in their community doing this, you're doing it in your own community, but you're inviting these people over to come and play with you in your own sandbox. Okay, it's a brilliant hack. Another thing is you could host your own mini training. Okay, so you could create your own mini training in your own community again, and then invite people in that other community over to your other training. Hey guys, I'm hosting a free training tomorrow, building confidence on stage. I'd love to invite you. Duh, right? Another hack that I'll do if I'm going to someone else's event, especially if I'm flying into town for something, is I will host a post-event meetup. It's amazing. Or I'll host, right? I'll host like a cocktail hour the night before. So whether you're speaking at the event or not, guys, you can say, hey, in that community, right? It's free. Hey guys, I know we're all going to need to eat breakfast the day after this event. I would love to host a breakfast for the first 10 people who want. Breakfast is on me, coffee, muffins, all the things. Whoever wants to just, come raise your hand. And guess what? Now you are starting to position yourself as someone that they want to meet up with after or before the event. Okay, it could be a cocktail hour, it could be a meet and greet, it could be a brunch or whatever. If you got a book, you could say, "Hey, I want to do a free book signing for anyone who's at this event. That's there that wants to have breakfast. I'm going to give free books away, whatever." Okay. So you can always host other things around that event. It's guys, this is beautiful stuff. All right, I'm gonna keep going because there's just a couple more. Tip number 20 is to create momentum after your talk. So let's pretend that you are speaking at this person's event and you cannot sell on stage, right? So let's pretend that you are hosting brunch the next day. So you spoke on stage, you've already built relationships, before they even got to the event. You speak on stage, now you look like a rock star, and now you're gonna host the after party, the after event. Right? I'd love to, so when you're on stage, you'd say something like, I'd love to keep this conversation going tomorrow over brunch. There's only about 20 seats left. Who wants one? Raise your hand, right? Meet me at the back of the room if you want a ticket to it. Okay? Because I'm not selling anything. I'm just simply inviting you to free breakfast. Okay. Last one is collect emails. Always have something to capture emails, guys. If you're speaking on the event or if you're attending the event, right? Like maybe you're having genuine conversations and you're like, oh my gosh, I actually have a training. It's 5 power tips to bring in another $100,000 in your business next month. You want it? Yep, cool. All right, here's the link. Boom, send it. Collect emails. Have a lead magnet ready to go. Have a free training. Have a free guide. Have a free workshop. Okay, you should always be growing your list, whether it's a networking event or an actual event. Okay, I think we're down to the last two. I promise, guys. I know it's jam-packed, but if you are like, oh my God, this is amazing, like I could give you 1,000 more tips. So, okay. 22 is align speaking events with your launch calendar. So when you're planning your year, right, map out your speaking events to your launches. So maybe I'm speaking at this particular event in March, and in April, I'm going to launch something that I want to get people into, right? So now my speaking talk and everyone that I meet at this event, I'm going to invite to come over into this launch, okay? Boom, right? Speak, build your audience, launch 2 weeks later. This allows you to convert attention into revenue. Tip number 23, last one, fun engagement. You guys do something fun, right? Remember, networking is fun. Meeting people is fun. Don't be that person that's icky and gross and like creeping and following you around everywhere, right? But you can even do a fun giveaway. So remember that networking event that I went to? Yeah, I gave a book away, right? Like I was like, okay, ladies, I actually brought 2 books with me. Whoever's the first one to the table after the event, who comes and says the word pickles, right, gets the book. People will literally come over screaming pickles, all right? So, because they want a book, right? They want a book. And you naturally build rock star authority by doing this. All right, you guys, that's all the tips and tricks, ninja hacks that I have when it comes to networking and really using and leveraging other people's stages to support your growth and business. I hope that today's episode and training was just right up your alley. I know a lot of events happen in the summertime, and that's exactly why I wanted to put this together for you. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If you are watching this on our YouTube channel or any of our podcast listening channels, please subscribe if you found this to be beneficial. Subscribe it, like it, share it, and then of course leave us a 5-star review. We'd absolutely love that. And this is obviously streaming amongst a lot of different platforms. So whatever platform you're on, you guys, I would love to have your comments. I'd love to have your questions. I'd love to even know when you were at a networking event that maybe gone wrong or something like that. I'd love to kind of just continue this conversation going in whatever capacity you are watching this. Just comment below. I'd love to hear about it. So with that, you guys, welcome to Carissa Atkins's world. This is how I roll, above and beyond. That's the Alpha Queen way. And until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day. Go out and make some money, network and meet new people. And I love you, and I will see you on another episode. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Iconic Leadership. If today's conversation activated something within you, make sure you subscribe and share this podcast with women who are ready to rise up too. Leaving a review helps this movement reach more women stepping into their power. This is Iconic Leadership.